Dr. Fauci, I have a few questions for you. The first question that I was wondering about is, we've got a lot of friends and family who are still reluctant to get the vaccine, and I just want to know what to tell them. What can I tell them to convince them that might help? How do I give them confidence in the mRNA vaccine? What do we say?
Well, Jason, what we have found is that when people are reluctant to get vaccinated, one of the things you got to be careful that we don't do is to make them actually feel guilty and sort of point your finger at them and say, you're crazy, you're stupid, or whatever. That just doesn't work. I don't think that you would be doing that, but just in general, you don't do that. And what you try and do is to just get in a conversation of have them articulate to you what are the reasons why they're hesitant, because some of them are very valid questions. And if you give them the answer to a valid question, you might turn them around. For example, one of the most common questions people ask is, boy, this vaccine was really made quickly, less than a year. And we hear that vaccines take years and years to develop. Did you guys cut corners or what's going on? I think you should make it clear to them that even though it's been less than a year from the time the virus was discovered to the time the vaccine was available, work on that didn't start in January of 2020. The basic and clinical research that led to the ability to rapidly get that vaccine was 2 decades in the making, 2 decades of basic and clinical research that led to our capability of rapidly getting a vaccine. That's the most common question people have. And then there are several others that have reasonable answers to them.
Thank you. Let me ask you this. At shows, I've been pushing to have the audience vaccinated, or if they're unvaccinated, to bring proof of a negative test. And I feel safer in those situations than I did before those restrictions were put in place. But what else can I do? What else can I do to try to keep the audience safe?
What you can do as an entertainer, if maybe favor, which you probably do, outdoor concerts as opposed to indoor concerts. I think that's probably the most important thing, because it really is true that the risk of infection in an indoor, not optimally ventilated place is dramatically higher likelihood of getting infected to an outdoor one. So I think the best thing you can do is, as you say, have as part of the requirement either vaccination or a proof of a negative test. That's good that you do that. Some people might want to wear masks. Even, you say you have to wear a mask when you're indoors, but a lot of time when you're in a congregate setting, like in a concert, some people might feel more comfortable wearing a mask. You might want to tell your audience, they respect you and are there because they admire you, to say, for those of you who feel more comfortable wearing a mask, no problem, go ahead and wear it. Don't let them feel guilty about putting a mask on. That might help.
Yeah. I was hoping you would say also that yelling out requests is a really good way of spreading the virus. So they should stop yelling out requests from the audience.
Well, actually, that's a good idea. You can tell them, Jason, I know what you like. Don't worry. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. When the pandemic started, a lot of people were comparing COVID to the flu. Can you explain why it's so different? And a follow-up to that is, if we do reach herd immunity, would COVID be something more similar to a seasonal flu in how we dealt with it?
Well, first of all, it's not the flu because it spreads much more rapidly and easily. And number two, it's potentially much more dangerous. We have lost this year 630,000 people in the United States to COVID-19. A fraction of that, of the deaths to influenza. That's the first thing. Secondly, we would like to do even better than just having seasonal low-level COVID. We would like, after we get vaccination for the entire world, which is really something I feel we should play as a rich country a major role in doing, we would like to get to the point that the level of infection is so low that it doesn't return every season, that it just, goes on for a while, less and less, and then just disappears. That's the goal of a real vaccination program.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to hear that, to tell you the truth. Thank you so much, Dr. Fauci. It's an honor to speak with you. My family, we all love you and we listen to you. And thank you very much for the time.